What if there was another way to actually live, a way that you can actually start to be in charge of your own healing, a way to get out of this survival mode and into creative mode? Well, it's my job as your host of the Healing Tree Hub to introduce you to some modalities that might actually make all the difference and to give you your power back. My name is Sarah, and I have the pleasure of meeting you every week to discuss new modalities and new topics that are really making a difference out there. So buckle up and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to the Healing Tree Hub. I'm so excited to be able to share this subject with you. It's one of my absolute favorites. We're going to be talking about chakras today and how they work, what they do, and how to know if you are overstimulated in a particular chakra or understimulated. And also, I'm going to end this session with a 5-minute mini meditation that is going to allow you to have the tools that you need to be able to clear and energize and balance your own chakras. You don't need to be a healer. You don't need to be well trained. It is just something that you can do to help ground and energize yourself and also release anything that's no longer serving you. And you can do this every day or once a week or once a month or once a year. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need it for, it will be available to you. So let's jump in. So first of all, those of you that are unaware of what chakras actually are, I'm going to be giving you my interpretation. And my interpretation doesn't come from a book. It doesn't come from many other sources. It is something that I innately experience when I am seeing auras and when I'm working with my clients in an energy healing session. So my interpretation may be a little bit different to what you may have heard in the past. So again, like all of my podcasts, just take and leave whatever resonates with you, and whatever doesn't resonate, yep, that's fine. You can let that one go. But hopefully this is really helpful, because I know that when I explain this to my clients and friends and family, it really does help them to understand what might be off balance in their energy centers. And it is something that you can have quite a lot of control in and be able to assist yourself with. So let's jump in. First of all, we all know that we are made up of energy, and our chakras are actually almost like a portal. I guess I could describe it as a portal. They're the energy centers. There's about 7 main ones. The 7 main ones are the ones that we're going to be focusing on today. There are many, though. So we're going to be talking about the 7 main chakras that are all aligned all the way from the top of the head, and they go all the way to the just underneath the genitals is the best way to describe it. Now, these energy centers, they act as portals where energy is able to be received and also be released. So it's extraordinarily important to consider that these are working and functioning really well, and they're balanced and they're unblocked, and they're really open to receive and to give. The first chakra we're going to be talking about is the root chakra. This is positioned just underneath the genitals, and it is really important for connecting us to our earth, connecting us to our community even. In some cases, it connects us to our basic human instincts and survival and security and stability. And when this chakra is out, I find that people are not grounded. So they might not be spending enough time outside with sunshine, wind, earth, and just being in the elements. They may also just have their head in the clouds a little. And sometimes those that are working in spirituality can sometimes get into a state like that. So I am always getting my head in the clouds. I'm always a little off into the work that I'm doing. I need to literally wear about 3 grounding bracelets just to really help me bring myself back to earth and really connect myself. And a lot of time outside, making sure that I'm earthing my feet. So that's when we put our bare skin on the earth. It can be touching a tree or literally just standing on grass. The electrons itself help to earth you and ground you, and it reduces inflammation, it reduces brain fog. So yeah, it's really, really important to, if you're feeling foggy, if you're feeling like you're here, but you're not really here, and you're sort of in a bit of a bubble, that's a really good indicator that your root chakra might be out, and you can get a really good indication by those symptoms. So again, the best way to balance this is do some gardening, spend some time in nature, sit underneath a tree, and eat root vegetables. That's a really, really important one. Eating root vegetables that have come from the earth can really help to balance you. The next one I want to talk about is the sacral. And as an energy healer, the sacral chakra is incredibly important. So it's usually connected to relationships such as your mother, your one-on-one relationships like your intimate partners, and your children. So as you can imagine, the womb is in that space. So those relationships are really affecting the sacral and affected by the sacral. Now, we actually hold a lot of our trauma in our life in our chakras. So it's usually not uncommon for me to see blocks of energy that have just been sitting there and sometimes festering in these chakras. And that's why clearing and energizing these chakras is so important. So the sacral represents vitality, self-gratification, and passion. And it's relative to the reproduction on a physical level. So creating and joy in relationships, and emotional level, and emotional passions on a spiritual level. When it's balanced, you're feeling passionate and creative and connected to others. And it's a real strong sense of sexuality. You've basically got your mojo back. And when it's out of balance, people find that they're lonely. Addictions can be at play as well. They feel betrayed. Their libido is flat and low. They feel regretful, anxious, guilty, and sometimes it can even be perceived with lower back pain or urinary problems, we've found, and allergies, interesting enough. So if you're experiencing any of these signs and symptoms, just consider that maybe there might be an imbalance or a bit of blockage around the sacral. Good. And now I'm going to talk about the solar plex. So the sacral, by the way, I didn't mention, is just where your womb would be. And the solar plex is just underneath your ribs, but above your belly button. So if you place your hands there, you can sort of get an idea. And this is a really interesting one. This is where we get a lot of those gut feelings, if you notice. And it's coming straight from our solar plex. The solar plex, to me, is the energy center that governs how you show up in the world. Not so much how you're communicating, but how you show up in the world, how you're presenting yourself in the world. And it also really tells me a lot about the inner child and if that person has some work to do from the younger years of their life. And the reason why I say this, and you may not get this source from other people, but when I am in there doing my energy healing and I see the solar plex, I feel like I can almost communicate with the inner child. I literally see a vision of what the inner child would look like, the age, and the mentality and how it presents itself. It's very interesting and it's always accurate. It's incredible. So just consider that the solar plex is where we house and where we home some of the parts of us that never quite grew up and that are ruling our life in particular ways. But it's also when it's energized and it's balanced. So it governs the ability to be confident. It gives us control in our lives. And it's where a lot of our motivation and willpower and vitality comes from as well. When it's in balance, we feel confident, warm, determined, self-disciplined, reliable, and positive we have a positive sense of self. When it's out of balance, our esteem is shot. And we can also experience a lot of digestive issues. You'll notice that when I'm talking about these chakras, I'm picking up on physical elements. We've spoken about this in the past podcasts. When there are dense energy deposits in these certain parts of the body, they can manifest into physical concerns and issues. And that's why it's so important to work with energy as well as your Western medicine as well. It really can work beautifully. So to balance it, one of the main things that I recommend is spend time doing some energy medicine is a really important one, making sure your energy is crossing over. So it's my go-to, and I find it much easier than learning a routine or having a new habit of doing yoga or Tai Chi or anything like that. So it's absolutely incredible. But whatever works for you and whatever excites you, do that. So it can be also, there's particular foods that can help with this one. Turmeric, ginger, and fermented foods can really, really help as well. And they also say to spend time near fire. So if you want to sort of ignite this particular chakra and get it really balanced around fire, so even having a candle and, candle gazing, or, just putting your hands near a fire could really be quite cleansing for this chakra. So the heart chakra, this is probably the most well-known one. And it's really important to understand that we all experience when we're in pain or we're heartbroken, we actually feel almost a physical pain, and it's like an ache in our heart. So that is your heart chakra communicating with you. It's extraordinarily powerful. It basically is the integration point for all the chakras. It's extraordinarily important. And sometimes when I'm looking at the aura, I see the two heart chakras connected when someone's talking to somebody or having a loving conversation. It's almost like they have this cord connecting them via heart chakra. In fact, when I'm doing my energy healings, I feel like my heart chakra is connected to each of my clients, and I have to disconnect afterwards. It's really, really beautiful. So much love obviously comes from the heart, but a lot of heartbreak too. And we see this all the time when we're doing energy healing as healers. It's an indicator that your heart chakra is not in balance when you're experiencing a lot of abandonment issues, anger, bitterness, fear, rejection, envy, and conditional love. So you only feel that you can love someone in these particular terms or situations. So that's an indicator that the heart chakra is a little clogged and the heart chakra is not accepting of energy. This is a really interesting one. I find that some people hemorrhage love. They'll just give so much love. But when I try to give them energy in their heart chakra, it takes a long time to get that heart chakra moving and opening and really allowing the energy to come through. And in that instance, I know exactly what that's telling me is that this person does not accept love easy. For some reason, they've made the decision that love is dangerous and unsafe and we're just going to stay away from it. So I'll give you love, but you please. So I'm hoping now you're feeling really comfortable with the concept of how chakras work, how to notice if they are not working to their full potential or imbalanced. And now you're starting to really get a good idea of the placement of the chakras, the colors, and the characteristics. The next part to this is part 1 that you're listening to right now, and part 2 will be the next podcast released on the same day, and it's going to be giving you the opportunity to start to get to know them intensively with a meditation. So this 10-minute, 15-minute, I'm not sure how long I got carried away, meditation will be absolutely incredible. And it's something that you can do on a daily practice. It doesn't have to be as long as this. It can even just be a 2-minute smaller session, but it can also be extended to 30 minutes, etc. Now, the meditation in part 2 is an incredible opportunity. It's designed by me, and it's something that I felt really, really worked because I like to call it the energetic dialysis machine. It is clearing out the negative, low vibrational energies that no longer serve you and allowing it to go into the earth's crust. So Mother Nature, Gaia, can transform that energy and bring it back up as beautiful, divine, earthly energy. Simultaneously, we're going to be utilizing heavenly divine energy through the crown chakra all the way down. So we're going to be having this circulation of energy running through us from heaven and earth. So it's an incredibly connective meditation, and I really hope that you enjoy it. So if you've got an extra 20 to 30 minutes, jump on to part 2. Thanks very much for listening and have a wonderful day.